I'm a San Antonio dentist. Here's how much Invisalign really costs. Most people Google, how much does Invisalign cost, and expect a simple number, like $3,000 or $5,000. But that number means absolutely nothing unless you know what's behind it. I'm Dr. Larry Dougherty, the owner of Dougherty Cosmetic Dentistry here in San Antonio, and I've been practicing general, restorative, and cosmetic dentistry for over 16 years. In my experience, people think Invisalign pricing is the same no matter where you go, but it's not. If you don't know what you're really paying for, you could end up spending thousands on a treatment plan that doesn't fit your needs. Or worse, the treatment gets you halfway to your goal with no finish line in sight. That's why in this video, I'm going to walk you through how much Invisalign really costs here in San Antonio, including what affects the price and whether it's worth the investment. Factors that affect the cost of Invisalign in San Antonio. If you clicked on this video, you're probably thinking of getting Invisalign for yourself. Perhaps you've asked a friend or two how much it costs, but somehow, no one gives you the same answer. Invisalign is not exactly a one-size-fits-all thing. It's influenced by several factors, including how complex your case is, how long you'll need treatment for, and whether your dental insurance is paying part of the bill. To help you understand this better, here's an example. Say a patient comes in with mild crowding. Maybe their bottom front teeth are just a little crooked, but there's no major bite issues or jaw misalignment. In that case, they may only need 6 months or so of Invisalign, with maybe 12 to 14 aligners total. That means fewer check-ins, fewer refinements, and a lower overall cost. Now, compare that to another patient that's got a more complex case. Maybe they have an overbite with significant spacing in their upper teeth and a bit of midline shift where the top and bottom teeth don't line up. That case could take 18 months or more, with over 30 aligners, refinement between phases, and extra appointments to track progress. So while both patients are getting Invisalign, the actual process and the price tag can be dramatically different. One patient finishes up in half a year, and the other could be looking at nearly 3 times that time, trays, and cost. Honestly, it's a case-by-case basis. So if you want to get a ballpark of how much this treatment would cost for you, here's what I recommend. First of all, you need to get a consultation. During your session, the dentist will examine your teeth, bite, and see how complex your case really is. Maybe you'll only need a little bit of correction, or perhaps you might need a more in-depth plan. Whatever the final verdict is will determine how much the treatment will cost. After that, the practice's insurance coordinator can help you check your dental insurance. I know this is a pretty tedious step, but it's necessary if you're trying to minimize the cost, because some plans will help cover Invisalign and pay around $1,500 to $2,000, and this can really take some of the edge off. They'll make sure to look at any orthodontic benefits you may have or contact your insurance company, because not all plans include that. But if that's not available to you, that's where this third step comes in. Ask your dentist about payment plans. A lot of dentist offices here in San Antonio offer flexible payment arrangements or third-party financing like Care Credit. So instead of paying everything up front, you can spread it out over time so it's not so heavy on your wallet. And honestly, this option is so helpful for a lot of patients because they can plan out their budget in a way that's more manageable for them. So if you've been thinking about starting your Invisalign journey, the next step is to book a consultation with us. It's quick, it's easy, and by the end, you'll have a clear idea of how this treatment can work for your smile. Just click the link below to schedule your visit. We'd love to help you take the first step toward the smile you've been waiting for. Why Invisalign is worth the investment. Now, I know what you're thinking. Invisalign sounds great and all, but is it really worth the money? And that's a totally valid question, so let's talk about it. Think of Invisalign like laying the foundation for a house. You don't really see the foundation, but everything else in the house depends on it being solid. Because if the base isn't right, everything else will fall apart. Maybe in a few years, you'll notice cracks in the walls, uneven floors, or even doors that don't close properly. And before you know it, you're paying for renovations that are way more expensive and stressful. Well, your teeth are kind of the same. When your bite is off or your teeth are crowded, it's not so much about how your smile looks, but more importantly is about how everything functions. Over time, this small misalignment can lead to jaw pain or wear and tear on your enamel. So while Invisalign might feel like a big upfront investment, it's really about setting your smile up to be healthy and strong long term. And when you think about how much time people spend hiding their smiles or dealing with dental issues that could have been prevented, getting Invisalign becomes worth it. Look, I get it. Finally pulling the plug and getting Invisalign is a big deal. But if you zoom out a little and think long term, the return you'll get on that investment is actually pretty incredible. And I can prove it to you with these 3 big wins. First, your dental health. When your teeth are straight, they're easier to clean, which means lower risk of cavities and gum disease. I've had patients who used to get multiple fillings a year, but after their Invisalign treatment, those issues dropped way down. Second, your confidence. And this one is just as important as your health, because when your smile looks good, your entire energy shifts. Suddenly, you stop covering your mouth when you laugh, and you're no longer self-conscious about taking pictures. I've had patients walk in shy, but a few months later, they come in with so much confidence. And that shift in self-esteem will influence other aspects of your life, including your work and relationships. And lastly, it's stability. See, what most people don't realize is that Invisalign isn't just a short-term fix. After your treatment, you'll get a custom retainer that locks in your results, so the work you put in and the money you spent doesn't just fade away. As long as you wear your retainers like you're supposed to, you're setting yourself up for a smile that lasts for years. So yes, Invisalign is a big investment, but it's one that pays off in more ways than most people expect. The average cost of Invisalign in San Antonio. Now, here's a common misconception about Invisalign, that it costs the same everywhere. But really, where you live and which provider you choose can make a big difference. Nationally, the average cost is around $5,000. But in San Antonio, Invisalign treatments typically fall somewhere between $3,000 and $7,000. I know, that's a wide range, but again, there's a lot of components we need to consider here. Besides everything we talked about earlier, there's one other thing a lot of people overlook when comparing Invisalign prices. It's that not all providers are offering the same level of care. Two offices may both offer the exact same service, but what that actually includes can be worlds apart. For instance, some providers use the latest 3D digital scanning technology and give you full check-in support, while others might do the bare minimum, meaning they just hand you the trays and send you on your way without any personalized plan or follow-up care. And knowing this difference matters, because the success of your Invisalign treatment is not determined solely by how you pop on your clear aligners. It's more about improving your bite and tracking your teeth correctly, and that takes extreme attention to detail. So while you could go with the cheapest option, it doesn't always guarantee the best results. Now comes the tricky part. How do you find a provider that offers the services you need for the best price? Well, here's a simple checklist that can guide you in making the decision. First up is treatment type. Ask whether you're getting a full Invisalign comprehensive package or a limited version, because some dental practices will quote you a lower price, but it turns out it only covers minor movements or a short timeline. Next, consider what's included in the price. Does it include the x-rays, the digital scans, the refinements, the retainers, the checkups, or are some of those things going to be surprise add-ons later? A good provider will lay everything out clearly, and ideally, bundle most of it into an all-in-one inclusive package so you know exactly what you're paying for from the start. Then there's the issue of payment options. We all know that Invisalign isn't cheap, but should also be manageable. So ask if the office offers monthly payment plans, flexible financing, or accepts HSA, FSA accounts. And if the cost is still a stretch, don't be afraid to ask about alternative options that can still get you a great result without blowing your budget. On top of these, credentials matter too. A lot of patients assume that any dentist who offers Invisalign is equally qualified, but that's not the case at all. It's worth doing a little homework. How many Invisalign cases do they handle each year? Is it something they do regularly or just now and then? The more experienced your provider is, the better they are at spotting issues early and adjusting your plan to get the best results. And finally, the extras. Some practices go the extra mile with things like remote monitoring tools, chat support, and tools like the pool tool that save you time in the chair. While these little bonuses seem small, these perks can add a lot of value and make your treatment smoother overall. And if you want to get the most out of your Invisalign experience, don't skip our next video. I'll walk you through the 5 things you need to know before you start treatment, including the right questions to ask and the common pitfalls to avoid. Just tap the video right here to start watching.